In Unit 8, Lesson 2, we are going to talk about how to find slope if you are given a graph. So we learned in Lesson 1 that slope is a rate of change between 2 points. It's the measure of the steepness. In order to find slope, we have to find the ratio of change. That should actually probably say. So the ratio of change, it's the same as the rate of change in the y and the change to the x. So it's always still going to be y over the x, but sometimes they make a little triangle for the change in y over the change in x. So let's look at what that will look like. So in this first example, you are given dots. You won't always be given a dot, but this time we were given 2 points. And when you find slope, you're going to draw a triangle. Now, this is what I see people do. They're like all over the place. Don't do that. You need to go straight up and straight over to get to that. So it should always be a right triangle, straight up and straight over. And you look at how tall your y is. So I know this is a positive slope, so I'm going to have a positive number. I know needs to be my rise over my run, so it's my change in the y over the change in the x. And my change in the y goes from 0, 1, 2. So that's 2 over my run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I check, does 2/5 simplify? No, it does not. So 2/5 is my slope. So every time it goes up 2 units, it will go over 5 units. Now let's look at another one. So this one, we were not given points, so we had to find our points. Remember that in order to find a good point, you're looking at a point where it will cross over in the corners, so it matches up. So I can see that there is a good point right here, to see how our line crosses over at a corner. And then there's also a good point right here, where our line crosses over at a corner. There, I could have used this point too, so there's more options. If you make a smaller triangle, you'll have less to simplify. Slope is still the rise over the run. This time I still have a positive slope, so I go straight up, straight over, and I see this one goes up 2, and it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it goes over 6. So my slope is 2 over 6, and I can divide by 2 to simplify that to get 1 over 3. So the slope of that line is 1/3. That means it goes up 1 every time it goes over 3. And you can see that here. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3. So we could have used those points instead of my other points. And I'm looking for a negative slope. So you're going to do these 2 examples. And then here's a negative slope. So for my negative slope, I need to find, I don't have any lines, so I need to find 2. I don't have any dots, so I need to find 2 points. There's a point right there. I'm just going to use those 2. So for a negative slope, it is still rise over run, but this time it goes down. So it goes down 2. But first I should draw my triangle. So how do I get straight there? Go straight down, straight over. It goes down 2 and over 2. So my slope is negative 2 over 2, which will be negative 1 over 1, which is the same thing as negative 1. So every time it goes down 1, it goes over 2. You could draw your line this way and then still have 2 and negative 2, but I think it's easier to go down and then over. But it doesn't matter which way you do it, as long as you remember that the up and down is the y and the sideways is the x. So now you are ready to practice.